everybody, Hugh here. It's Dustin Dopirak coming to you from the Seco Fieldhouse media room, where about 30 minutes ago, lots of Indiana All-Stars eating pizza.
Cody Zeller was sitting like 5 feet from where we sit. Do you believe it?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, the whole Zeller family was here.
Rumor was, this is great, this comes from Zach Osterman, Luke Zeller apparently told Austin Etherington what he should order at Mother Bear's.
I missed that, but
it's
I
fantastic.
wish we had that information. That just happened.
That was a
nice job.
That was a flying ginger.
Nice job, Ginger. Nice
Anyways,
job.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's things happening. Anyways, let's actually get to why we were here in the middle of June. We were watching basketball. Indiana All-Stars beat Kentucky. Obviously, doesn't really matter. It's All-Star game.
No. Although it's much better than any other All-Star game you're pretty much going to watch because they actually care. Like, they really
They
care.
do. I mean, they spend like a week practicing. And by practicing, I don't mean just on contests.
They dive on the floor. I mean, it's the only All-Star game we've seen Cody Zeller play in which he's not the only one setting screens, not the only one diving on the floor, not the only one really, really trying. They actually really want to win this game. So we've seen worse. Anyways,
let's start with the man, the myth, the legend, Cody Zeller.
Yeah, he was good again.
Yeah, he was good again. We know exactly what you're going to get with Cody. I think Mike Hackett said it well, the Indiana All-Star coach from Munster. He said he had only seen Cody every year play for the state championship. That was the only time all year. Obviously, he's in Munster. Cody's in Washington.
Yeah. He said,
said, I knew he was good. I didn't know he was this good.
Every time I've ever heard somebody, I heard Mark Adams say that exact same thing when Cody signed with Indiana, when he committed to Indiana. He said pretty much the exact same thing. I guess people that don't work with him on a daily basis don't really get it until they do coach him. Just exactly how good he is fundamentally and just the degree to which he really does everything. And you saw a lot of that tonight. He was good really good on both ends of the floor, and just not even just in the low post. I mean, he was really scrapping, diving for balls, and just had great court vision tonight. Had 3 assists, a couple of really nice passes, 2 steals, I think 3 blocks. I mean, he really filled up the box score tonight and just did everything.
What struck out to me about this week was he seemed to be enjoying himself. He's a kid that he takes basketball very seriously.
He does.
This is his life. This is his job. This is, I mean, he carries himself with a lot of presence, but he knows there's pressure on him. He knows he needs to perform. But this week, he seemed to really enjoy himself. And really stuck out to me was he started the second half with a dunk. It was a Marcus Teague miss. Out of nowhere, Cody comes, tip back, dunk, just thunderous. And as he was dunking and hanging onto the rim, he smiled.
Yeah.
And it just was this moment where, like, even in that moment, he allowed himself to enjoy it in a way that I rarely had seen from him. And I thought that's what we got out of him this week, was kind of more of Cody the person kind of going through this last high school experience.
Yeah. He got a question tonight from Bob Kravitz, actually, at the Indy Star, about, do you realize what do you think it's going to be like when you're going to start to face all this pressure, because everybody in Indiana is expecting all this, and has it set in that this is it, that this is your last high school game, and after this you're going to IU like this week? And he said, it hasn't hit me yet, but it definitely seemed like he got that, though, that he did realize that, like, this is the time to enjoy this again, because after this it's going to get a lot more difficult, and it's going to get a lot more scrutinized, and this is kind of a chance where you can just kind of let loose. And it seemed like he really did that. And yesterday in Bellarmine, he had a lot of foul trouble, at his 4th foul, 21 seconds in, and it just seemed like he had just a burden on him the rest of that game. And it almost allowed him to enjoy this more. I mean, you could tell when he came out in the second half, he only had 2 fouls, and he realized he could really let it rip, that he did.
Yeah. Let's talk about the kid from Kentucky. First guy coming to Indiana from Kentucky in 40 years, I believe.
Is it really 40 years?
Yeah, that's been a really long time. Just doesn't happen. Bud Mackey was supposed to be it, but obviously that didn't go well.
Some things changed the direction of that recruitment.
Anyways, Remy Abell, guard from Louisville Eastern. He was kind of on Friday. Was good on defense. Really struggled on offense.
Yeah.
Tonight he was really good.
He was really good. 16 points. Hit 3 threes.
12 in the first half on 5
12
shooting.
in the first half. Yeah, he really kind of showed you the entire package. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how exactly it translates to the next level. But there's nothing that he can't. There's no part of his offensive game that he does not have. He's goes really hard to the bucket. Tom Crean said, I guess a week and a half ago at Huber Farms that off the street, Abell's the best guy getting to the basket, and you could see that.
Yeah, you didn't see that Friday. You saw that tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he really goes hard at it. He made a couple of real nice just floaters, just, points in the paint, but like just the way he attacks the rim. I mean, he's ferocious. He absolutely just gets after it. Gets to the line a lot when he doesn't score, and that's obviously the one thing.
Quite honestly, that's what happens
really
when you really get to the line. When you really get into the lane and you get to the basket, you're either going to get the shot or you're going to get the foul.
Right.
And Indiana has missed that. Indiana has not gone to the foul line nearly enough because it doesn't do what you need to do in order to get to the line.
It's a combination of speed and strength, too. I mean, Abell's not the fastest guy on the floor, but he's got enough speed. He's not the biggest guy on the floor, but he's got enough size. I mean, he's kind of
built like a running back.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. Like
that's
he's the type that goes up, that can go up the middle and can take a couple hits and keep churning.
Right.
And that's what he does when he goes to the basket. It's the exact same thing. He goes, he goes in the lane. He keeps going. Puts a shot up, and if it doesn't go, he draws a foul. He gets there. He's got that much tenacity, that much strength and power that'll get him. And then he combines that with a good enough shot, so you have to defend him outside. You can't let him just take that three-pointer. He's not a spectacular shooter, but he's good enough. So he does all those things really well, and he did a good enough job on Marcus Teague this week. It's not easy to keep that guy in front of you.
It's not, but we saw Ron Patterson and Gary Harris and a couple of the juniors.
Yeah, and Ron Patterson's a spectacular defender.
Right, who we regard as really good defenders, could not do anything with Marcus Teague on Monday in Washington.
Yeah.
And for this weekend, Marcus settled for a lot of jump shots, which is really what you want to do with Marcus.
Right.
It
was strategic. I mean, he sagged back, and he didn't try to just absolutely get up in him.
Because you can't. He'll get past you.
Like, he had an understanding, okay, like you have to make him take jump shots. You'll take that. I mean, obviously, Teague hit one the other night that won the game. But
it was good defense.
He forced him, okay, if you're going to beat me from 18 feet out, that's how you're going to have to beat
me. If you actually look on the scoop, Chris Howe took a great photo of it. Remy, I mean, he's in good position. He has his arms up. He's doing everything he's supposed to do. Sometimes guys just make shots.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about the third guy of the class, Austin Etherington. Actually, the first member of this class, long time ago.
Yeah.
He's a guy that really struggled to find his role this week, I thought.
Yeah, no, he did.
He got going.
Today was his best day.
Today was his best day by far.
By a long shot.
And he had 6 points and 3 blocks. So it was
the one block was really good. George Fant, who's a load kid that's going to Western Kentucky. I don't know. He's like probably 6'6", probably 260.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like he could play, guard. And when I say guard, I mean on the football team.
He's those classic low mid major post guys. That have the body, just
wide body, not
3
a
or
lot
4
of height.
inches too short.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot. You see a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
But, Fant just came up strong to the hole, and here's Etherington, who's probably giving up 20, 30, 40 pounds to Fant.
40, 50.
Yeah, a lot. And Etherington, just got up, kept his hand up there, and, willed it away. I mean, that was easily the best play you'd seen from Etherington all week.
Yeah, I mean,
it was really impressive, actually, considering just how much he was giving up size-wise.
I really think Austin's role, at least next year, his best attribute is his shooting.
Yeah.
What will get him on the floor for any significant role of minutes if he can be a defense-stretching three-point guy. If we didn't see that this week, we think he can be that guy, but it's obviously something that has to become much more automatic.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the thing. Like, right now, he's first got to be an automatic three-point shooter and then be a good enough defender. I mean, I guess, because where you have Matt Roth, who's kind of who's automatic when he gets an open three, obviously defense is not his forte. Etherington can guard you well enough. I mean, he's not locked down. He's not in the Ron Patterson category or the Jeremiah Rivers category or even the Remy Abell category. But he can play some defense. He's not a liability. So if he can shoot it almost as well as Roth can, that gets him on the floor. And you just didn't see a lot of great shooting from him this week. And I mean, he's got a more versatile game than those guys, but it's still he doesn't have anything beyond the three-point shot that's really a plus.
Austin's also in a different situation in that there's a glut of wings on the roster right now.
There's a glut.
Remy's a point guard. Cody's a big man. Those are real positions of need for Indiana.
Right,
so
exactly.
That also really changes the expectations.
Right. Austin can't play the one. Austin can play the 2 and the 3. Remy can play the 2. Probably more.
Remy, I told Remy he really believes he's going to get a shot to play point guard, which is I thought was interesting, if only because that's currently held by Verdell Jones, the senior. As I pointed out in my story, we talk a lot about Verdell. Verdell used more possessions, percentage of possessions, than any other player on the team. Was 90th in the country in terms of like percentage of possessions used on the floor. 28
Ken Palm stats, if you want.
Ken Palm stats, yes. But he had the only people who had lower offensive ratings were Jeremiah Rivers and Bobby Capobianco. Yeah. So kind of put those together. Right. So lead into that, Dustin, real quick. Who is your starting five right now at this moment on opening night?
If I was the coach, or do you think?
You were the coach.
What do I think Tom's going to do? And I don't say that to be insulting. I know that's going to come off.
No, but there's two different things. There are two different things. If you were the coach, it's like the Academy Awards. Who will win? Who should win?
I think if it were me, I'd put Holes at the point, and that switches up the entire thing. So then if you put Holes at the point, if Creek is even moderately healthy, I think you put him there. If not, probably Abell. Then I think Watford, Zeller, Pritchard. What do I think Tom's going to do? Because I think he still wants to do a lot of the dribble drive stuff. Based on that, if I'm going on his rationale and what he wants to do, I mean, I think Abell will beat out Verdell, just based on what he can do as a dribble drive guy. I mean, Verdell was the best guy on last year's team in terms of getting to the rim, but Abell's better, and Karina's already said it. I think he keeps Holes on the floor somehow, some way. Creek gets on if it's either kind of Creek or Watford at that 3, Oladipo and Sheehy coming off the bench, and then probably Etherington after that. Cody's your 4, Pritchard's your 5. I think it really depends on what you want to do at that point guard. If you're okay with Holes facilitating for a while, he's your guy. If you want somebody who's going to attack the basket, I think you go with Abell.
I think it's going to be really fluid.
Yeah, you're right. It's going to be very fluid.
I think Holes, Watford, Zeller are definites every game, and I think Pritchard's the next. He's close to definite. I bet he'll start 80 to 90% of the games. I think that other 5th spot is going to rotate. We're going to see 5 or 6 guys starting there based on how they're playing, based on matchups, based on Tom's instincts or hunches or whatever else. I think and we'll see a lot of within the game. Tom's very big on last year. There weren't true positions. I think we'll still see some of that. We'll see Zeller play the 4 and the 5. We'll see Holes play the 1 and the 2. We'll see Abell play the 1 and the 2. Verdell,
Verdell's still going to play a lot. I mean, you
wonder if they. I think
he's not going to get phased out that bad. They're going to find a way to get him in there.
No, I mean at the very least he's a super sub.
Yeah, exactly. He can play anywhere 1 to 3.
Yeah,
if he has to.
Right. I do think he ends up starting on opening night just because.
Yeah, I do too. Because he's a senior.
He's
been there.
He's been there. I think it's one of those things where if it's a tie, the edge goes to the upperclassman just because he's been there. And sorry to give you like a Bill Lynchian thing, but it is what it is.
It is.
Anyways, we are at almost 13 minutes, so we should probably
see
stop.
If this loads at all.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Might be a while before we're doing these again. Probably July.
Exactly.
We'll hit the road.
We got a whole 3 weeks without basketball.
Exactly.
Let's enjoy it.
Yeah.
Let's grill something. Guys.